Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are managing assets. And no, not your portfolio. We're talking about the most high-value asset you have, your body.
Exactly. And that means moving past just grabbing whatever's convenient. It's about performance protocols based on, cold, hard data.
And for anyone who's high-performing, whether that's in the gym or just a 12-hour workday, the margin for error in nutrition gets really, really small.
That's right. Which brings us to a choice everyone faces.
Yeah.
The protein shake versus the protein ball. Liquid efficiency or solid sustenance.
This whole analysis is coming from some really sharp thinking over at sundried.com, and they're basically saying, look past the marketing, look past the flavor.
Yeah, this is about physiology, bioavailability, digestion kinetics, pure metabolic efficiency.
So our mission today is to figure out the optimal strategy. When do you need speed, and when do you need, well, endurance from your food?
Because the best choice really depends entirely on the moment you make it.
Okay, let's unpack this.
To start, we have to talk about the physical gateway. It's all about something called gastric emptying.
Gastric emptying. So how quickly food leaves your stomach.
Precisely. The state of what you consume, liquid versus solid, is the #1 thing that dictates how fast your body can process it.
The physical state is the main variable then.
It is. So think about a protein shake, just mixed with water. It's a liquid. It hits your stomach and encounters almost no mechanical resistance.
Right.
There's a muscle, the pyloric sphincter, that acts as a gatekeeper between the stomach and the small intestine. When it detects a low-viscosity liquid, it pretty much sees a green light.
It just says go right on through.
Exactly. It passes through relatively unimpeded, and the result is this really rapid flood of amino acids into your bloodstream. That's the anabolic spike everyone talks about.
A very tactical response.
Extremely tactical. Now, compare that to a solid, like a protein ball or even a piece of chicken.
Right, which the body holds on to for much longer.
Significantly longer. Because solids need mechanical breakdown. It starts with chewing, which actually signals to your stomach to, get ready for a heavy workload.
The cephalic phase of digestion, right?
That's the one. Then the stomach has to churn this solid bolus, mix it with acid, and slowly break it down until it's small enough to pass through that gate.
And that retention time is the whole key to feeling full.
It is. So if I'm following this correctly, the choice isn't really good versus bad. It's about a strategically fast delivery, the spike versus a sustained trickle effect for satiety.
That is the big picture. It's a timing game. Okay, so let's focus on that liquid asset, the shake. Sundry.com really frames its value as functional superiority for post-exercise recovery.
Because the objective is pure speed. You've just damaged your muscle tissue, and you want to flood it with building blocks as fast as possible to capitalize on that sensitivity window.
And the data on that speed is pretty wild.
It is. A high-quality whey isolate or a hydrolyzed whey can leave the stomach about 4 times faster than solid food. It's the ultimate precision tool for that tight recovery window.
And what about the efficiency? Calorie-wise, this is where it gets really interesting for people managing their intake.
The ratio is just unmatched. A good whey isolate gives you, say, 25 grams of protein for maybe 100, 120 calories, almost no fat or carbs to slow it down.
Okay, so compare that to a whole food.
Well, the analysis from Sundried brings up almonds, a great healthy food. But to get that same 25 grams of protein from almonds,
I'm guessing it's a lot more calories.
you'd be consuming nearly 800 calories.
800. Wow.
Yeah, it's a shocking difference. You're taking on almost 700 extra calories because of all the structural fat and fiber that your body has to process along with the protein.
So the shake is just a masterful tool if you're laser focused on hitting a protein target without adding all that extra energy.
Exactly. But that speed, it is a double-edged sword.
Ah, yes. The satiety gap. Let's talk about that.
Right. The problem is that fast transit time. Because the liquid doesn't stay in the stomach long enough to stretch the walls, it doesn't send those strong I'm full signals to your brain.
A shake is fuel, not food. I learned this the hard way last week. Had a shake before a long drive, thinking I was being smart. And an hour later, I was at a service station buying chips. You just get so hungry so fast. The stomach empties, and it's like you never ate at all.
And we should probably mention the processing side of things, too, that bloating issue a lot of people
Oh,
get.
a protein shake bloat. Yeah.
It's often the emulsifiers and gums they use, like xanthan gum, to improve the texture. They're not digestible, so your gut bacteria has a field day, and for some people that means gas and discomfort.
So if speed causes the satiety problem, we need to talk about the mechanical effects, the solid state strategy.
This is where things like protein balls come in. They leverage what's called the matrix effect.
The matrix effect. Okay, what does that actually mean?
It's just that the protein is part of a larger structure, a matrix of fats and fibers. From things like oats, dates, nut butters, your body has to physically break all that down.
So the structure itself slows everything down?
It does. When protein is wrapped in fats, from, say, peanut butter, your body has to break down the fat first. That process just naturally slows gastric emptying, giving you that trickle of amino acids over hours, perfect for a long work block.
Plus, there's a psychological win, the act of chewing. Your brain actually registers that a meal has happened.
A satisfaction that liquid just can't give you. But, and this is a huge but, we have to talk about the caloric trap.
This is where so many people get tripped up, thinking they're being healthy.
Absolutely. To hold those balls together, they're often loaded with really dense binders. We're talking dates, honey, agave syrup, tons of nut butter.
And the calorie count just skyrockets. I've seen some of the examples from the sun-dried analysis. It's not uncommon for a small protein ball to pack 200 calories.
For what, maybe 8 grams of protein?
Exactly. It's a terrible protein-to-calorie ratio if weight management is the goal.
You're eating a meal's worth of energy for a snack's worth of protein. It's that health halo effect. It says dates instead of sugar on the label. But metabolically, your body sees a huge sugar load.
So the takeaway here is you have to interrogate the label.
You must. The rule of thumb they suggest is simple. Check the sugar grams against the protein grams. If there's more sugar than protein, you're not eating a supplement.
You're eating a confection? A dessert?
Pretty much.
You know, given that fatigue with all these sweet-tasting supplements, sundried.com points to a sort of savory renaissance. People are looking for whole food convenience without the sugar bomb.
And this is where we move beyond the simple shake versus ball debate. And the champion here, according to the analysis, is biltong.
South African air-dried meat. A lot of people might think it's just like beef jerky, but it's not.
Not at all. It's nutritionally superior, and it's all down to the process. Jerky is usually cooked and marinated in sugary sauces.
Bit teriyaki or brown sugar,
Yeah.
right?
Biltong, on the other hand, is cured in vinegar, spiced, and then just air-dried. No cooking, and crucially, no added sugar.
So it keeps a higher protein density, and it's basically a zero-carb snack. No insulin spike.
It's pure protein and fat. You get all the satiety benefits of chewing a solid food, but without the caloric hit of a date-based bar.
That's a fantastic solid option. But we shouldn't forget some of the simple powerhouses that are making a comeback, like cottage cheese.
The cottage cheese renaissance is well-deserved. It's loaded with casein, the slow-digesting protein. You can get 20 grams of protein for around 100 calories.
It has the efficiency of a shake, but it's a satiating, solid food.
And it breaks the monotony of endless chocolate and vanilla powders.
And for anyone tracking their budget, you can't beat the classics. Hard-boiled eggs and canned tuna.
Unbeatable for economy and macros. 2 eggs give you great fats, choline. A tin of tuna is almost pure protein, just like a shake, but it's a whole food that registers as a real meal.
Okay, so let's get to the strategic verdict. How do we put all this together?
The analysis from Sun-Dried is clear. Context is king. You have to deploy the right tool at the right time.
So, post-workout protocol. Let's say you've got a tight 30-minute window before your next meeting.
It's unequivocally the shake. Your body's demand is for speed. You don't want to burden digestion with fats and fibers. You need rapid uptake.
But what about that afternoon slump? That long stretch between lunch and dinner?
That's when you need the solid. You need sustained satiety. A handful of biltong or a pot of cottage cheese an hour before a big meeting will give you that slow trickle of energy and focus.
And savory is probably better there to avoid any blood sugar swings.
Definitely. And for general snacking, the verdict is just whole foods. Rotate things. Eggs, tuna, yogurt. Get the full spectrum of micronutrients that processed foods just don't have.
Okay, let's distill this into some actionable strategies. For someone on a tight budget, what's the priority?
Hard-boiled eggs and canned tuna, period. They are the most economical, high-quality protein sources out there. And if you do supplement, buy whey concentrate in a bulk bag. Avoid the crazy markup on prepackaged bars.
And for a more hybrid approach?
Be tactical. Buy 1 bag of a quality whey isolate and use it only for that immediate post-workout window. For all other snacks, rely on affordable solids like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a small portion of nuts.
And on the nuts, you have to weigh them. It's so easy to eat 500 calories straight from the bag without thinking.
It really is. So finally, the top 3 rules from sundry.com. First, prioritize protein at breakfast to set your satiety for the whole day.
Stabilize that blood sugar early. Makes sense.
Second, read the label. More sugar than protein. It's candy. And third, consistency always beats intensity. Hitting your protein target 6 days a week forever is way better than a perfect, unsustainable one-week sprint.
So what does this all mean?
It means moving from just passive eating to active strategy. Shakes are tactical tools for speed. Solids are strategic tools for endurance and satiety. The high-performing individual knows which one to use and when, treating food as the critical overhead it is for maintaining that high-value asset.
And that choice between liquid and solid, it really forces you to map out your day based on your energy needs. You have to consciously decide, do I need a spike right now or do I need a trickle? So considering all that, think about your afternoon coffee. Are you really using the sugar and fat in that latte strategically, or are you just creating a metabolic debt for a moment of convenience, something to explore on your own?